Well, howdy ho, Stampers. Deb Valder here, your Fun Stampers Journey Coach. Today I'm going to show you how to do a technique called Poppin Pastels. Now, this has been around for forever, absolutely forever, but we're going to use our pan pastels today, and you're going to see how easy and how beautiful this all becomes. I absolutely love this technique. So I'm using it for my video library, and we're going to be using a couple of stamp sets. One is called Autumn Days, and it's a beautiful set of realistic stamps that are all leaves, and it also has the die to go along with it, which we absolutely love. All right. The other one that I'm going to use for my background is called Playful Leaf. And if you don't have this stamp set, it's not a set, it's just it's a one background stamp. But if you don't have this one, you definitely want to get it because it is absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And it lends to this technique absolutely wonderfully. Okay? So let's grab our background paper. First, I'm going to grab some scrap paper because we can get a little wild with these pan pastels. All right? And we're going to take, I'll leave this right over here in the corner so that you can see them. Now, whenever I do cards, I always do them in twos just because of your cutting, and then you always have one for your display and one of them to give away. So I'm always doing double duty on that. So the first thing that I need to do is to grab my pigment ink, and we're going to take and just ink up this background stamp. Again, doing the ink to the stamp instead of the stamp to the ink. All right, you want to make sure that when you're doing this technique that your stamp pad is inked up very nicely, all right, because otherwise it won't take the ink or the pastel. Okay, the ink won't take the pastel. Okay, so we're just inking this up. It's clear, you can't see if you got it or not, so that's kind of hard. All right, so what I'm going to do is take this and lay it down, and then watch what I do. I'm just going to take my paper right here and bring it over. And use the flat of your hand when you do your background stamps. You don't want to go like this, because if you do, you're going to get like really heavy here and light here. If you do the flat of your hand, it's much more even pressure. So we're just going to take the flat of our hand, lift this up, and start adding our pastels to it. So I'm going to grab just a bunch of colors, and I just thought these looked like really fun colors. These come from the Rich Sorbet collection. All right, and then I think I grabbed one from the Mother Nature collection. That one right there. All right, so I think I have all my colors. And now what you're going to do is just kind of dab it on there and then brush it in. Oh, so beautiful. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Poppin Pastels. And what that does is it just brings in your color. All right, I get kind of crazy with colors, so you know, I just love doing this. Love, love, love doing this. And you'll never have two cards look the same. All right? See, now I'm kind of blending in the colors. So I'm blending in the pumpkin bread into the lemon drop. Is that lemon drop? I'm not sure. Okay, so then let's go with our green right here. I just picked a couple of fall colors. All right, and then you slowly slide it into the next color, and then just see how they just kind of blend together nicely. And on this one, I think I'm going to leave off the raspberry color. I'm going to leave these just those colors right there. We could have done just the background. Well, let's just do it and I'll show you. We could do the background and just the pumpkin bread. Let me just show you what that looks like. Absolutely gorgeous. I've been playing with these like crazy because they are just so cool. I love this technique. I just love it. All right, so I'm just inking up the background again with the clear pigment ink just to show you a different variation on this. All right, so I'm going to grab another piece of scrap paper because I like doing it this way. Here we go. All right, and that's just so that you don't get your hands dirty. All right, because if this was ink instead of the clear pigment ink, you would get your hands dirty. All right, so there we go. Flat of your hand, beautiful. All right, set that out of the way, and I'm going to grab my pumpkin bread right here and just do the whole background with this color. See how beautiful this is? And then There you go. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Okay, so now we have those done. All right, now what we need to do, if I bring in the card and just show you, okay, now what we need to do is we need to do the leaves. So I'm going to grab a scrap sheet of paper, and I'm going to grab my leaf stamp, which came from that beautiful autumn set, and just ink it up again 2 times because we need to do 2 leaves for each one. All right, and stamp it down. This pigment ink is just a sticky ink, and we use this with colored embossing powder like gold and silver and black, all right? But you can also use it for this technique. So let's see, for this one right here, I'm going to just use a couple of the different colors, and it's just so much fun because you literally don't know where this leaf is. Okay, there it is, all right? So we'll just add a little bit there and a little bit there, okay? And then I'll go in with some. See how the colors just blend together so nicely? Alrighty, here we go. See how different the colors look? They're just emerging absolutely beautifully. Now I know you're asking, why do you have 4 different sponges? Because I have 4 different kits. I have every one of the pan pastels. So I'm just using sponges for each one of them, from each one of the kits. All right, alrighty, and then I'm going to go in with my pumpkin bread because that's the color that I just love. And like I said, you can play around with these. You can get, you know, every single one of them is going to be very, very different. All right, and since I am doing the other 2, I might as well do them right now, show you how fast you can whip off these cards. So if you were doing a bunch of them to send out for, you know, announcements for Thanksgiving or a birthday, you could do all of these for your fall birthdays. All right, that would be very pretty. I'm going to do one set in just the pumpkin bread with maybe a little bit of, starting this as my background. Now remember, we're cutting these out, so you don't have to worry about all of the color that went off the page here. You don't have to worry about that. There we go, and I'm just going to add just a tad bit of the green. Okay, and then when they get cut out, they're just beautiful. Oh, all right, I'll add some of the purple to this one too. So, so pretty. It's like I said, you could be here all day coloring because it's so much fun. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and cut these out, and then I'm going to come back and we'll put it all together because it's literally done. Okay, be right back. So now I'm back and I got my leaves all cut out. I did want to show you one thing that you do want to do. I forgot to tell you this ahead of time, but when you go to cut out anything that has pan pastels, you definitely want to, I'm going to show you the layering. So let me get these out of the way and just show you something that I think is very important. You don't want the pastels to get onto your cutting plates. So what I do is I lay down my platform, and then I lay down my cutting plate right here. All right. Then I'm going to lay down my paper. Let's say that's the paper. Then I lay down the die, but then I lay down a piece of scrap paper. And when I say scrap paper, I want you to either use either your grid paper or an old piece of typing paper, because what you don't want to do when you run this through is you don't want to get these pastels on here, because then if you go to use white cardstock the next time, you're going to end up getting the pastels all over your next cardstock because it's going to be in here. Sure, you can wash these, but it's just as easy to throw in just a scrap piece of paper, and it works very, very well. All right, I just wanted to kind of give you that little update there because it does work wonderfully. I also took You know me, I'm always cutting out paper and saving it, okay? So I cut the middle out of those, but I really didn't have to because what I did was I just cut the leaves out of the inside of it for both of my cards. So I'm gonna take the more colorful one for now and grab that and my card base. So what I have is a card base, and then I have my pumpkin bread layer, and then I have the layer of my Poppin Pastels right here. All right, so let's just glue all those together to start with. Let me just find, here it is. I just needed to grab my Easy Glide, and you see with Easy Glide you don't need a whole lot of it, so you're going to just save yourself a whole lot of money. And let's grab this piece right here. And it's going to go on there. Okay, so we are almost done, literally, almost done. All right, so now let's bring in the card and show you what I did. I took one of the leaves and stuck it up here on the top. So we're going to just take, I'll take the more colorful one for the one on top, I think. No, I like the green one. Okay, so what I did was just grabbed one of my journey squares. Now see, that's the nice part about the large and the small. You don't have to use as many of them. I probably could have gotten away with just one of them, but I'm going to use two on this. So grab those and stick them right there. All right, so there's my first one. Now here I've got some layering going on, and I've got some of my journey twine. All right, so what I'm going to do is just grab a couple of circles of twine, grab my no stick self-sharpening shears, okay? And then what I'm going to do is to take another journey foam square. I better get these down, all right? I'm going to take another journey foam square. I'm going to lay it on the back just like this, all right, right there in the middle. And then just wrap this around my fingers a couple of times, okay? And then just kind of offset it just a little bit. And we're going to glue it right to the bottom of this little guy right here. All right, just offset it just a little bit. We can play with these so that they're not all in a super circle. All right, get them all situated just like that. Add one more journey foam square to hold them all down. And then we're going to attach it to this little leaf right here. So isn't that super uber cute? All right, and then to go super pop, as Richard would say, when in doubt, pop it out. We're going to pop this one up. All right, so here's that one and that one. These are super sticky too. All right, and there is our card. Believe it or not, it is that fast and that fun. Now you'll notice I went a little bit darker on this one. You can go as dark or as light as you want. It depends on how much you put on and off your card right here. But that's my card for today. It's called Poppin Pastels, and it literally is with the pastels. One other thing that I did on this one is I took my gold and I just brushed it over the top of these two, and I'm sure you can't see it, and I know I won't be able to capture it in the picture, but it is absolutely gorgeous. So I hope you take and try this with your pastels. These are from the let me see, those are from the Mother Nature section. No, these are the ones from the rich sorbets with a little bit of Mother Nature in there. Oh, you need them all because they're just all so much fun, and depending on what project you're doing, you're going to need them. So anyway, you take care, have a great day, and if you need to get a hold of me, you know how. Take care.